Stop
Mine.
it. Stop it.
Mine.
Stop it. Stop
My
it.
turn.
Stop
My
it.
turn.
Ah!
Got it. Well, hello and welcome in again to this fourth episode of Mike Takes the Mic. I'm Mike. This is Headmaster Chris Dyer at Reborn Martial Arts here in Northern Virginia, Springfield, Virginia. And I kind of have a hard-hitting question. There's a famous, perhaps controversial remark by the famous Bruce Lee that Tai Chi is for old people. And I understand that you teach Tai Chi here. So what is your answer to that? Tai Chi is for old people.
Who's Bruce Lee? I say that because it surprises people. I've never seen a Bruce Lee movie.
Ever?
Ever. I don't watch a whole lot of martial arts stuff. It always confuses people. But yeah, you actually loaned me his book. I'm slowly working through it. But that's an interesting question. So it's old people, or Tai Chi is for old people.
That's basically
And that's where he left it?
word for word. Kind
Tai
of.
Chi is for old people. Okay. So no. So for people that don't know Tai Chi Chuan is a style of martial art that the literal translation is the supreme ultimate fist method. Which sounds amazing, doesn't it? So Tai Chi is a philosophical principle. All things come from Tai Chi. It's the central principle from which all things spring. Yin Yang, everybody knows what Yin Yang is, the intertwining of positive and negative, light and dark and whatnot. That is, the theory goes that springs from Tai Chi, the universal principle, which, as it turns out, we kind of built our martial arts system around. It's actually in our logo is the Tai Chi symbol. It's the core principle around which everything comes. So it's one of the core philosophies that we teach at our studio of learn the core principles and then all the techniques and whatnot shape themselves around it. So that was so that's kind of a background of what Tai Chi is. Tai Chi as a martial art has been practiced for a very, very long time. And yeah, I can definitely see why someone would think that it's for old people, especially Bruce Lee's Chinese originally. He probably saw, in native China, people in parks, usually older people in parks practicing Tai Chi. If you go there to China today, it's amazing to see people are in the parks every single day practicing their Tai Chi. And it is traditionally younger people practice more wushu, kung fu, and then as they get older and joints start hurting and whatnot, they kind of gravitate towards a more gentle style of martial art. So yeah, I can absolutely see Tai Chi is for old people. Is it exclusively for old people? No. As you said, I practice Tai Chi. I teach Tai Chi here. My wife now started doing Tai Chi, so it's kind of. I don't think of myself as old. We definitely teach Tai Chi to younger people. The value is definitely there for young people, is that we're learning balance, we're learning stability, breathing, control, relaxation, all of these benefits that people get out of Tai Chi can be done for people at any age. You teach a kid how to move slowly and kind of incorporate that into their daily existence. Maybe they do better in school. I don't know. Let's try it and find out, right? But I think what you're probably getting at in the question is the martial aspect of it.
Perhaps. I wasn't there when Bruce Lee said it. I've just seen it in videos.
Yeah. So I think the real important question is, this is something that I have thought about a lot. I think all martial arts should be and are practical. I think that nobody would create a martial art, especially one that's been around for a very long time. Nobody would create a martial art that isn't effective. I think what ends up happening is a martial art is effective, and then a teacher teaches it to a student kind of sort of understands it, they move on, they start teaching it, and things get watered down. This happens in every art. If you think that your art is perfect, I can tell you it's somehow got its flaws. Something's been watered down over the years. And so it's actually one of the things that we focus on at Reborn Martial Arts is actually going back to what is the original intent? What is the purpose? So when I teach Tai Chi, we do it with application, always. Every single technique is done with understanding of this can be used as a strike, this can be used as a lock, this can be used as a throw, every single technique. So even salutations, we'll look at ways that you could incorporate and then self-defense. The benefit behind it in a martial arts aspect, no, going slow doesn't work. We know this, right? This is why you see Tai Chi master against boxer videos, and we all know the outcome here. They're going to lose. Why? Because they want to use Tai Chi slow practice in combat, and it doesn't work. And if you go back to the original text, Tai Chi text, it never says go slowly. If your partner goes fast, you meet their pace. If their partner slows down, you meet their pace. It's never go slow. If a person's trying to punch me, I can't go slow. I have to meet their pace, right? That is one of the core principles, one of the founding ideas behind Tai Chi. It's not go slow, but what's the value of going slow? We know that going slow, we have more neuromuscular control. We start learning how our bodies move better. What martial artist out there wouldn't want to move better? Like, let's think about that for a second. It doesn't make sense to not train something that helps you move better. We do slow, low stances. What is that good for? Again, going back to practical things. If I learn how to go into a low stance, shoot my leg out, getting underneath my opponent, I'm better able to lift them to, again, going back to throwing, I'm better able to throw them, right? The hardest part that people have when they're learning throws is to get down underneath a person, is to drop their weight, to have control, or lose your balance. People always say, fights end up on the floor. That's because you have crummy balance. If you work on being able to stabilize, have low stances, wider stances and whatnot, that's less likely to happen. So I think that the value is definitely there, and that's one of the things that I've been working very, very hard trying to break the stereotype of, it doesn't have value, it's useless, you couldn't use it. Like, no, of course I'm not going to move slowly through, someone trying to attack me, but those movements have applications. We do these as takedowns, and you do it quickly, and you start seeing, oh wait, all of this stuff comes into play. I don't think there's a single movement from, the 28 or 108 or whatever, or the 13 that I haven't used in sparring.
Yeah, and so I found from a previous career that slowing things down and practicing more slowly can help you develop better fundamentals. And I've studied under people who have had mastery in a variety of skills. And every time that I've studied with true masters of their domain, the idea they keep coming back to are fundamentals. And the better your fundamentals are for anything, and truly any skill, the better your fundamentals are, the better you're going to ultimately execute that skill. And a sure way to examine your fundamentals are to move slowly or go slower, or examine what you're doing under kind of an expanded time frame.
Yep. I look at this with my own experiences with forms. Is for after I got over the speed bump of disliking forms when I first started, I was all about, all right, next form, learn the next one, next bigger, better forms. And now when nobody's around in the studio, I'll go and practice the Taikyoku Kata, which is the simplest form you can ever learn. We all learned this years and years ago. Low block, step forward, punch. Low block, step forward, punch. You do it in an I shape. I have forms that are extremely advanced. You're doing, 360-degree kicks in the air and whatnot. Right now, that's my favorite form. And it's just slow, simple movements. And, I, start visualizing different things. A lot of things are going on internally while I'm just mentally moving through the form. And I think that that's huge. Just slow down, fundamentals. The problem is, a lot of martial arts, especially now, out there in YouTube land and whatnot, it is geared towards younger people. And I remember sparring, had to punch, because that's what feels like you're doing the martial arts. And that is definitely a part of it. But is it the only part? No. Is it the part that you can do your whole life? No, it's not. At some point, your body is going to say, you know what? I don't feel like getting hit in the head today. I don't feel like getting taken down. And as you get older, that you need to have, your martial arts will either stop. I see this all the time. You reach a point where you can't do any more of that training and you stop and you're no longer a martial artist, or you continue on and you find different things to study. And we talked about this in I think our last video is chin knot techniques. I made the comment that it's old man martial arts. That's because it's something that you can, because of the low impact, practice every single day. You can practice into your 80s, into your 90s, and you can be more efficient at doing that than you were punching and kicking in your 20s because you've practiced it over a lifetime. And so having martial art that, grows with you, right? I do my Tai Chi forms and, I go do the 108 as fast as possible. It's something that a lot of people frown on, but I do that fast. And when I'm sore from, a heavy day in the gym, I'll go and do it slow. And it kind of works with me. I can do it every single day, and it will, shape itself to what I need.
I like that answer. So what I'm hearing, to refute or to rebut perhaps Bruce Lee, Tai Chi is not for old people, it's for everybody. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, Bruce Lee's right, partially. Tai Chi is for old people, it's for young people, it's for middle-aged people, it's for people with a really bad day and people that are just looking for some fun, right? We do more than Tai Chi because, it's not the end-all be-all of things, but the forms have so much to teach things. And the going back to its namesake, Tai Chi is the core principles that you can learn. And a true master of an art will be able to understand the principles from anything. You can go learn, the principles of the martial arts just by watching someone cut grass. Is the idea is that you can study anything, and as long as you understand the core principles, how a body moves, timing, ranging, all this other stuff, you'll see it.
Well, thanks so much for your thoughts. I apologize for ambushing you with this question, but thought it was
a great question.
Yeah, great timing. And again, love to hear your thoughts. And for those of you out on the interwebs, please like and subscribe. And if you're in the area, Northern Virginia, stop by and check us out at Reborn Martial Arts. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.